Okay, so this is going to be an interesting video where I talk about my personal faith in regards to being an atheist and having strong belief in the Christian values, minus the God part and minus all the higher being or afterlife part. So on this video, I just want to talk about my journey so far in terms of attending 4 church services online and then also reading the book Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis and how that has shaped my thoughts on Christianity and God and the values. And so, yeah, let's get right into it. So I've been writing a lot of note down, and the book Mere Christianity is a great book. I highly recommend it. The first part of the book is more about the values that Christian follows. And then the second part of the book, I would say, is more about the God part and the higher being. So I have come to the conclusion so far is that I am definitely an atheist for sure, simply because I don't believe in a higher power or God. However, I really hold Christian values deeply, meaning that when I talk about values, once again, I'm not talking about the God part, but I'm talking about values that Christians follow, such as humility, such as honesty, truth, perseverance, discipline, courage, growth, honesty, and forgiveness, hope, and love and responsibility. Like, I hold those values very strongly, and I think Christian values or Christian religion really exudes that the most. So I'm just going to talk about what I currently believe in, my thought process, and so on and so forth. Yeah, I just don't believe in a higher power. I don't believe in a God. I just don't believe those things exist. It was funny when I was in a church service, and I did online 4 of them because I have 2 kids and it's difficult taking them out and having them stay quiet at a church service. So we watch it from the online at my home, and I just zone out every time they talk about God. They talk about the higher power. I always zone out. And I think it's just because I just don't believe in it, right? Now, when they talk about other stuff that's more practical and more, I guess, down to earth, I can understand it. I think it's great. But when it comes to the God part, because they talk about God for like an hour or and a half, they start on that subject for a very long time. And it just goes over my head, or I just don't believe it and I start to zone out. So I definitely think that I just don't believe in that. But the other stuff, the Christian values, I 100% believe in. So what do I think about life? What do I believe about life? And I think when it comes to purpose, I think that's just something inward. That's something that you build. That's something that you create. That's something that you just come up with on your own. I have the power to create my own purpose. And I think there is a lot of power to that, right? Because it's sort of like free will. My purpose is not given to me. It is created by me. Now I'm gonna pivot a bit to my separation that happened like 3 years ago. And during that time, for the last few years, I just felt like I had no purpose. I had no ambition. I was sad and depressed all the time. And I definitely was treading downhill. And so a lot of my escape was through video games, was through TV shows, not being as present as I could have been. I was very present, but just those things were always distracting me every now and then. After separation, while it was painful, it actually gave me my purpose back, or my ambitions back, and my motivation back, oddly enough. Definitely in the past 3 years, I have definitely gotten much more spiritual. And when I say spiritual, that's another word that's hard to explain. But when I talk about spiritual, I'm talking about more inward. Once again, back to the purpose part. Because of the separation, I just created a lot of reason for me to get a lot of things done. Right? So after separation, I'm taking care of 2 kids. So I got to get a better job. I got to work harder. I got to get a promotion. I got to get a salary. I got to learn new skills. There was a lot of inward purpose, spiritual, that have happened as a result of separation. During that time, I was following Charlie Kirk and Jordan Peterson, and they always talk about Christianity and values. And so I think my humility just kept going up. My responsibility just kept going up. My ambition and perseverance and just aiming for challenges constantly went up as the years gone on by. And it just made me much more spiritual and purposeful and gave my life meaning again. Because I don't use God or higher power as my meaning, where exactly does my meaning come from when I say inward? And I love Man's Search for Meaning. The author was Viktor Frankl. He was part of the Holocaust and he was suffering along with millions of other people. And he just talked about 3 main things that give people meaning. And basically he was seeing how there was basically 2 groups of people, and one people, they were suffering, they were sad, and they died faster. And the other group of people, they found meaning even during the horrible conditions of the Holocaust and the camps. So why was that the case? And there's like three big ones that I'm just going to generalize. One is working and helping others, just serving the community, serving others. And as you know, that is a big part of the Christian value. Next is love and relationship, building love with the community, with your friends, with your family, with your siblings. And then a third one, and this is also very important to me, is having the courage to go out there into the world and take on new challenges, having the courage to face hardship and overcoming it. Just having the courage to stay strong regardless of what happens in life, because there's always something bad that's going to happen. Like I lost my job 3 months ago. Within a month, I was able to bounce back, right? Just having the courage to constantly put myself out there, constantly apply for jobs, constantly make a name for myself. Even right now, constantly creating YouTube videos, because I'm a huge introvert. YouTube videos on about my life and my separation and being a single dad, etc. Just having the courage to do things in life has given me a lot of purpose. It has given me a lot of meaning in life. I have the power to choose how I feel or think or my thoughts in any given situation, right? Like even though I lost my job, I have the choice if I want to complain or cry all the time or something like that, right? Or do I want to take action, get my resume ready, apply for jobs, and just continue to do that, which I did, even though I was playing game every now and then. But I was still doing stuff to make some progress. Now, let's talk about my moral compass. And man, it's crazy because I really used to be very against religion. Like I used to be against Islam and Christian and all these other religions. It was just so funny because I remember always having debates and arguments with my friends who are religious about these things. And now I would just say that I do believe that Christianity is absolutely important and I get a lot of my values from that. So the first value from Christianity that I think is very important is just loving others. And obviously I had separation and I had bad people in the past that I had to deal with, but I don't hold any necessary hatred in my heart for them. And in fact, like, I don't think I have that for anyone. I get frustrated with people, of course, but not necessarily hate. Like, I just want to, number one, love my kids, of course, because they are the greatest blessing in my life. Love my family because I have a huge family and we all go through serious stuff. And I just want to help them out as much as possible. And just loving others as well, like showing them grace, showing them empathy, showing them sympathy, but not at the cost of my own life or my own value system, okay? And then, yeah, being honest. I really try hard to tell my kids, you tell the truth, right? Because now my kids 8 and 5, and they're always trying to make some white lie that they didn't make this mess or they didn't do that. I have to teach them, you got to be honest. Like even if it's a small white lie, do not lie to me about X, Y, and Z. You got to tell the truth. And that's the way I live, right? I try to be straightforward. I try to tell the honest truth. And of course, that's a skill in itself where you can tell the truth, but say it in a way that's not too offensive or that's not sugarcoating it as well. When you live your life on honesty, you have nothing to hide. There's nothing that you're trying to keep secret or constantly keep on a lie, because that's gonna make you go crazy if you're trying to hold in a lie your entire life. So I think that honesty is the way to go. And then forgiveness. I think when I saw Charlie Kirk's wife forgive the killer, I just thought that was insane to do something like that, right? To forgive the killer. And now I come to learn that the forgiveness is more about for the person instead of the killer, right? Because you don't want to live your life hating the person in anger all the time. That's just not a way to live a life. And so the forgiveness is more for the person. Now, the person that is being forgiven is still going to suffer the consequence of what that person did. So just because I forgive someone doesn't mean that I need to keep them in my life or I need to think about them all the time or I need to do anything with them regardless. And I just think that forgiveness is a powerful action to do. And now staying humble. Now, I would say I had a problem with this because I like to be confident. Sometimes I like to be cocky, and that's part of the competitive nature. But I think I had to learn how to be humble and admit when I'm wrong and show that I want to learn and I'm not like smarter or better than anyone. And I'm definitely pretty sure I come across like that in the past. But I think I'm just much more down to earth now and just humble and just chill and relax. And that's basically humility, where I just want to learn. I'm not having some high ego or too prideful to think that I know everything and so forth. Being disciplined. So in the world of distractions with technology, especially video game, has definitely been one of my biggest distractions, TV shows, and like I used to have 65-inch TV in one room and a 55-inch TV in the other room, consoles in each room. I had a PC. Like I was just distracted nonstop. And then of course there's the phone. It's hard to stay disciplined with all these things next to us. And I guess for more context, like I grew up in a environment where no one taught me anything. Like, I did not learn anything from my parents. I did not learn much from my siblings. Like everybody was just doing their own thing. So I did not have any habits or discipline in place as I was growing up, even to adulthood. Now I knew right from wrong, but like developing a habit and having it instilled in your brain and having other mentors or people teaching those things, I didn't have any of those things, like none. So it took me a while to build discipline, to really stay consistent and have consistent habits. Now, luckily, I have made a lot of smart choices, and so nothing crazy happened in my life. But if I had that earlier, which I'm teaching my kids now, I'm teaching my kids to be honest. I'm teaching my kids to even like just simply brushing their teeth and reading to them every single day and teaching them important values, right? That is discipline. And I'm teaching them ahead of time and they're using me as their role model. And then the last one, and I hear Dave Ramsey talk about this all the time, where once you make enough money, you want to start contributing to the community. You want to serve others. And that's in a way what I'm doing with the YouTube channel and the Single Dads community. I really want to help others and serve others in the world, or whoever's watching. There's just too many fear mongering, too many, comparisons. And we know comparison is a thief of joy. Like my goal is to inspire others, is to show people mistakes that I made so that they don't have to make it. That is my way of serving others. And I'm Cambodian, so I donate and contribute to the temple every now and then. And also serving others is by making sure I raise great kids. I want to make sure I'm raising good human beings that contribute to society. And so it's a good thought that if I leave this world, like I've done positive things, I've done good things to help others. Now let's talk about suffering, because suffering is a big part of life. And there are questions about why is there bad stuff happening in the world, like especially to kids, right? The most innocent of everything. And this is, from what I understand from the book Mere Christianity, it's because of free will. And on top of that, you have to suffer to earn the love or earn the, I don't know how to fully explain it, but free will comes with consequences. And God made us this way because love is better or meaningful when it is not automatic or robotic, right? So we get to the point of love that's real, that's not fake. And in a way that makes sense, but still bad stuff are happening all the time to innocent kids. And why do they have to suffer? Yeah, it's just unfortunate that's the case if God is real, but I don't believe in that. So another part of suffering I do want to talk about is just the challenge of life, right? We have to go through a series of challenges that if we are courageous enough, we will come out on top. However, if we continue to play the victim, it's going to make things worse for everybody around you. And I truly believe, like every time that I work at a company and we have the lowest person just performing poorly or complaining all the time, it affects the whole team. Like it just affects the whole team. And the reason why I bring that up is just, I cannot imagine living in some type of victim mindset. I just can't. And I have plenty of stuff I could complain about. Like my past was not the greatest, not even one bit. In terms of, I grew up in the ghetto neighborhoods and ghetto environment and government handout and stuff like that. There were just so many things that worked against me, and yet I have come out on top, which is, to me, is like a miracle. And so Jordan Peterson talks a lot about this, where suffering, like life is suffering. And so you want to have the strength to endure it. You want to have the strength to overcome it. You want to have the courage to overcome it. Now let's talk about the afterlife. And according to Christian, if you're good, you go to heaven. And if you're bad, you go to hell, put it simply. But I just don't believe in that. I don't believe in afterlife. I do believe if I pass away, it's just going to be my legacy and the memories I leave with my family and whoever is still alive, right? And so all I could do on my side is just to try to live the life the best I can, serve others, and just raise amazing kids and just be a good human beings. And that will obviously challenge other people that has opposing views or that don't believe the same thing. And that's fine. And I think the world is big enough for different people as long as we're not hurting each other. I live in a very good place now where I don't have to worry too much about violence or any craziness, right? Because I'm to myself. I live in a safe neighborhood. I am raising my kids good. And I'm just careful with my decision. I'm not going to go anywhere that's unsafe. So that's going to be my legacy, right? Like just being a good human being and serving others and raising good kids. And I intend to live a very long life. And so I also look forward to the future of what the world brings. So yeah, my fulfillment just comes from what I build in myself, purpose and meaning, and I just go from there. So overall, yeah, I still don't believe in a God, but I do fully respect Christian values, and I do think I follow that as my foundation. And I have further reinforced it reading the book Mere Christianity by C.S. Lewis. I think humility, avoiding being prideful, avoid being egotistical, avoid obviously doing the bad stuff like stealing or lying and stuff like that. But I just minus all the higher brain part and the God part and the afterlife part. I just don't simply believe in those things because I believe I build my own purpose. I believe that I create my own meaning and that just everything's inward. My kids, I'm actually very curious about which direction they're going to go because I'm going to let them choose in a sense where if they want to be Christian or they want to follow a certain religion instead of being atheist, like that's up to them. But I'm just going to be honest and truthful about what I believe. And maybe that will shape which route they're going to go. So I'm going to allow them to choose, but I'm always going to be there to make sure that they're not doing anything crazy. So faith, even though it's more a religious type of term, when I'm talking about faith, I'm talking about just having the belief in myself that I could accomplish things. I have hope in the world that things will get better for me and my family. I just have hope that I could accomplish great things when I put my mind to it, and that I'm going to continue to build my skills and continue to reinforce my value system and just continue to put myself out there and having the courage to accomplish things. I hope I was able to clearly explain my personal belief and my thoughts so far on being an atheist and the Christianity values or the religion. If you like this video, hit the like button and subscribe, and I will see you on the next video. Thank you for watching.